Hey everyone, back with another Truth Talk. And today I am here with Max Joukovski. And I'm super excited to talk with him today because he is an entrepreneur who is still in high school. Welcome, Max.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. It's an early morning, Tuesday morning. It's actually the first day of the week today because yesterday was President's Day or Abe Lincoln's birthday or something. But
Yeah,
ready to get the week started off on a good note.
sweet. Good. Well, thank you for joining me today. And Max is here locally with me on the Central Coast. And I'm just going to go ahead and jump in, Max, and ask you why you started a business when you were, what, 16 years old?
16. Yeah. So one of my favorite stories I have from my mom is she likes to assign numbers and data and analytics to just about anything that she can manage to do so. And so she had my entire family sit down and take it's like a glorified BuzzFeed quiz. It was like 100 questions about your personality and how you'd answer questions, how you make decisions and whatnot, and it lists out your five most prominent character traits. It's called like the Gildan. I don't even remember what it's called, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Okay.
But it's basically a fancy BuzzFeed quiz that tells you what it thinks you're like. And like by a long shot, by a landslide, my most shining defining character trait was competition, was my competitiveness. And so I always
Ah,
love to bring that up when I'm talking about why I started my business, because it wasn't just a super motivating story that I saw or something that I wanted to do. My friend started a business and I was like, no, 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 you can't be better than me. I'm going to try to start a business. And of course I say that as a joke. I love him to death, but I saw him doing this super cool thing and I was super interested. And I was like, okay, I feel like let me at least try to do that myself. That'll be good experience. I'll learn something without a doubt. And I just went from there.
it's funny. I haven't heard that story before, and you are on the same soccer team as my son. And so I see you on the pitch, and you are quite competitive. So now I'm like, haha, that makes sense. It's a good thing, right? I think competition is a great thing. And it does, for me, it motivates me and gets me to go, oh, I can go up to the next level because they did it. So,
Yeah,
right?
it's
Kind of the
it's
same
nice to
thing.
see somebody around you who has all of the same circumstances in life, most of the same circumstances. If you can see somebody around you succeed, it'll propel you, it'll convince you that you're actually able to do it, which just goes to show, I guess, anything you think you can do, you probably can do. It's
Yep.
just about whether or not you believe in yourself.
Absolutely. It's so good to learn that now too. That carrying that through life is good. But we haven't even gotten to what your business is, so we should probably jump into that because now you are showing other young adults what they could do, their potential. So can you tell us about that?
Their potential. I love that word. So I run a tutoring business here in town. Right now we're very local. We started very small, just with high school students in their math classes. We've
Mhm.
since expanded with more employees with different skill sets. We've expanded into all STEM, or not all STEM subjects, all academic subjects, ranging from STEM to English. Now we do K through 12, and we also do a little bit of test prep on the side. So we've really, really, really been pumping the gas recently, trying to expand, trying to grow as much as we can. We're working, fingers crossed, on getting outside of the county just a little bit, but of course,
Mhm.
with personal tutoring, there's a little bit of a barrier there in terms of how do we make the transition to meeting online as opposed to in person. I don't have the resources to provide for all of my employees, digital softwares and what they might need to be able to do really, really, really high end tutoring
Yeah.
online.
Mhm.
So we're working on building our way to that so we could really start pushing it outside of our county, outside of the state one day. We'll see.
Yeah. Wow. I think by next year you'll be all over the United States. I
I
do.
hope
I
so. That'd
see
be good.
that for you. Hmm. Well, and there's
That'd
such
be
a need, right? I mean, after COVID, even before COVID, you know, but especially after COVID, these kids are just, they're failing, right? They didn't get the basics. And then I know that watching my freshman son move into high school, his math teacher had to backfill a bunch of basic concepts that he never learned. And while she was great, I actually reached out to you because I knew you knew those concepts, which I have kind of forgotten over the years. And so it was so nice to have you come over, work with him. He felt comfortable with you. There was just this nice, it was just a good feeling. And he like wanted to spend time with you and learn math, which, not everyone wants to learn math. So that was great.
Cool.
So you're very helpful in that way. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear that, and I totally agree that there's without a doubt there's an incredible need for it. A lot of people have very, very, very big gaps in the fundamentals of what they do and don't understand. And even outside of that, people have always needed tutoring, even if they didn't
Yeah.
spend 2 years in their rooms pretending like they were on their Zoom calls, not learning anything.
Yes.
Regardless, students still need tutoring. Some people need help in different subjects, which is why I think it's a pretty safe avenue to pursue a business in.
Yeah, for sure. And I love that you opened it up to K through 12 because even starting in kindergarten, getting those basics, right? Sight words and all those different things, which, in the community, you don't always have parents. I mean, parents have to work and they're busy and they're trying to support the family. So it's nice to have that help from the outside. And they get it at school, but a little extra help I see is very beneficial. So that's great. And you lead workshops, free workshops. You just did one last week for SAT and ACT prep, which is great because every student can use help with that, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really great that you offer that and give back to the community, which is one of my core values for Poppy Grove. So I appreciate that you do that as well. So a little
Absolutely.
switch here. What have been some kind of struggles that you've had in starting your business?
Right. I think the outstanding struggle that I've had in really getting to the level where I can it doesn't take that much money for me to survive as a high schooler. I just need to pay my food and pay my gas, right? I have a roof over my head. I'm very lucky to be in a very safe family. But
Mm-hmm.
even just getting to the point where I can support myself and the things I want to do, have some extra cash to have some fun, it's been a journey to get here, without a doubt.
Yeah.
And now my ambition and my competitiveness makes me want to push it to the next level. But the first year of getting started was really difficult, and I think much of that comes through the fact that I am still in high school. I have to go to class. I can't
Mm-hmm.
spend all day thinking about my marketing, working on my business. I do anyway, but I shouldn't. But I have to go to class. I have to get good grades. I had college applications to work on. I
Yeah.
wrote north of 100 drafts of essays throughout my college application process. I want to compete to have one of the top GPAs in the school so I can put that on my resume, have that in the future. I have other projects that I'm working on for engineering class and PG&E sponsors, and I have internships, and I have all sorts of extracurricular sports,
Ugh.
going to the gym. It's so much to handle. It could take for many students that I know, many of my peers, they kind of look at me and they're like, Max, what is wrong with you? Why don't you ever relax? Why don't you ever rest? And that has been the most difficult part of starting my business, is getting over the hump of sometimes I don't want to do it. Sometimes I have had a long day at
Mhm.
school. I've had a long day at work. I had another job for the first 9 months of me running my business. I had a long day at work. Uh, something put me in a bad mood and I didn't want to work on it. But at the end of the day, if you want to grow your business, you have to get on Facebook and make the posts. You have to meet with that student that you don't want to meet with. And um, that was the hardest bridge to cross when I tried to really build a foundation in this business and in this industry, that I could have clients who are coming back, have enough testimonials to keep growing. Because once you get the first 10, everybody tells a friend, and then it just grows and grows and grows, and all of a sudden in a couple months you have too many students, you can't even handle it.
Yeah.
But
Good problem to have.
good problem to have, absolutely. But the first 10 were a very big struggle. I didn't have my first student for my first 6 months of tutoring. I didn't have another one for another 4 months after that. So
Yeah.
there were doubts and there were hard days. But at the end of the day, now we're here and I did it and I don't really have to let it go now.
Yay. And you believed in yourself and you believed in what you were doing. And I think that's where so many entrepreneurs get tripped up is that, you give it 6 months and then you say, well, this isn't working. I'm just going to go do something else. I'm going to go get another job. But you stuck with it and that just shows. And you had a great idea to begin with. It was just like you said, getting, getting it out there to people, showing them that what you could do. And you did it. So that's great. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. And also, a little tip for you. As you get older, I don't find that there is balance. You're always right. I mean, if you're going to have a family one day or you want to travel and have kids and which is so great about entrepreneurship because you can do that from anywhere. But it always is this kind of like tug of, okay, well, where do I need to put my time today? And especially when you have kids, it's like, well, of course they need to be number one, but you also want to work on your business. And so it's like, dang it. Yeah. Yeah. So if you learn that now and you find ways that you can kind of, I hate the word balance, but just kind of go ebb and flows and realize that that's how it goes, then you're going to be set. Hopefully. I mean, I see that for you because you do a ton of things, but you always seem to be, at least from the outside looking in, you always seem to be, positive attitude, friendly, ready to do stuff. And so that's a good thing.
I try to be.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. Yeah. Yes. And we know that you have, like you said, like a supportive family, your grandparents and your parents. And so
Of
that's
course.
nice too. Yes. Yes. That support is key when you're moving along this journey.
I have a
Yeah.
very strong ecosystem of people who support me and people who are willing to give me the push from behind, whether it be friends or family. I definitely have a great set of circumstances here in terms of when I've had those long days and when I'm tired, even after I've done my work to work on my business, I have people that I love to fall back on and to make me feel better. So it
Mm-hmm.
ends up working out at the end of the day, most days.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Super important. Yes. So if you were talking to a friend and they said to you, well, I want to start a business, I have this idea, what would you say to them?
This is interesting because I have quite a few friends right now who've had that same question, and
Okay.
I am trying to all help them start their businesses and to scale them. So one day I can call myself a consultant, and I don't even need to do business myself. I can just help other people, and I can be just like you. Um,
There you go.
but so it depends on the person because the way I see business, especially in a small town. For most of my friends, they would have to start very local. Nobody's going to be able to build a huge brand online right off the bat and just start selling digitally unless they make a viral TikTok video. But then, how am I going to help them? You
Yeah.
make a viral TikTok video, sell something on TikTok Shop. Good for you. You made a couple
Right.
$1,000, and hopefully it happens to you again. But it definitely depends on the person because there are two things that kind of go into go into starting a successful business in my eyes. There's hundreds if not thousands of factors when it comes to growing a business, but I think it all kind of boils down to two things that you need to think about: how much you're willing to work on it, and the guidance and the experience and the just kind of the strategy that you're able to take with it. Now, of course,
Yeah.
most of my friends they won't have any foresight. They've never run businesses themselves. Some of them haven't even had jobs themselves. So they, of course, don't have an incredible amount of strategy that they can take with it. They can listen to what I say, they can listen to what
Mhm.
you say, they can listen to what mom and dad say, but at the end of the day, they're kind of going in blind, right? So
Yes.
the advice that I would give to someone is you kind of I don't know the rules about language on this podcast, but you just kind of
You.
have to work your ass off.
Yes.
There's no way around it. If you want to start a business from the ground up, you're gonna have to be hanging flyers around town, post
Hmm.
on Facebook every day. And there's a balance between when you're annoying people in the public Facebook channels and when you're advertising in a fair and friendly way, right? You can't just
Yep.
be 100 posts a day in the local Facebook group. Eventually you're going to get kicked out because people are like, "All right, dude, we hear you.
Enough.
It's enough."
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's some balance and there's a lot of trial and error that you need to take, but the only way you can really make your way through that if you're going in blind is you need to work a lot on your business. You need to be talking to everybody you can about it. There's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of there's a lot of really caring and really smart people in this community. There are parents, there are teachers. The engineering teacher has been he's been a role model for me. He's given me advice. I ask him just about everything that I want to ask him about my business, and he'll always have an answer. And I'm sure he'll do the same for other students.
Oh, for
He's
sure.
willing to provide resources from the school that'll help you start your business. The engineering teacher is without a doubt just one of those people who has really pushed me along the way and held my hand through it. And everybody needs somebody like that. But at the end of the day, you got to work hard and you got to put in a lot of hours, even when you don't know what you're doing and it feels like the work that you're putting in isn't going towards anything. You got to
Mm-hmm.
wake up the next day and do it again. Because,
That's right. Yep.
yeah,
That is so true. Great advice. And you're so right about finding that mentor or a coach, a guide, because you find that one person who believes in you 1,000%, and that can really help. And it's so great for him. I know who you're referring to. And he is so good about giving back to his students and to the community because he cares,
he does. Yeah.
right? Yeah. And that's just a wonderful thing. Yeah. So good. That was really good advice. And so, where can people find you? Like
So
digitally, online?
digitally, I am doing my best, fingers crossed, to start to make more of a digital presence. Right now, we're mostly on Facebook. We have a website. Everything is just at Max Potential Learning. We're at maxpotentiallearning.com.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, in the next couple of months, we can start making an online presence through TikTok. It's going to be a little bit harder to grow a Facebook, but I'm thinking if I make 100 TikToks a day, then one of them is bound to get some traction.
No
Um,
problem. In between classes.
in between classes, I'll be an engineer. I do that right now for one of the other businesses that I was helping out. I was making him some shirts in the engineering class, and the
Huh?
engineering class is in the same room as the physics class. So the engineering teacher, he's talking about physics to like 3D vectors and whatnot, and I was just sitting there peeling vinyl to make shirts for my friend. I felt kind of funny doing it, but
But you know the content, so you're probably fine.
yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, or at least that's one of my sons tells me. But you're also helping him with some ACT prep. So thank you for that. Also,
Of
that's
course.
really great. You're a good human, good helper. And so anyone who needs tutoring for their students K through 12 and the college test preps, reach out to Max. And you've got a few people working for you, like you said. So I'm sure that they can find some availability to within SLO County right now. Is that what you're doing?
We're staying within SLO County for now. If we're outside of SLO County, we can do our best to do something digital. It would probably be highly discounted because I can't guarantee that it would be top quality. But if someone wants to give it a shot, by all means, send me a text,
Yeah.
send me an email. We can try and figure something
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Sounds good. Well, thank you for joining me today, Max. It's always fun to chat with you. And I look forward to seeing what happens to you next year when you go off to college, keep your business growing. And yeah, you're going to be national by next year. Hmm.
I hope so.
Yes. All right. Everyone, go find a Max. And yeah, we will catch you next time for another Truth Talk. Thank you. See you later.